all by myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Legion Interviews, episode number 8, I believe. I don't know. Sometimes I lose track of time with my day job. But anyway, I'm actually very excited to have this guest on because I am a U.S. Army veteran, and in the Army, food is horrendous for the most part, especially MRAs. But we put hot sauce in everything. It is a staple. And what I want to say is you can find them on Twitter, you can find them on Facebook, and you can go to their website. Without any further delay, I would like to welcome Silk City Hot Sauce. Thank you for joining me.
Hey, what's up, Ryan? Thanks for having me.
No, absolutely. I want to give a shout out, much like I did on Twitter, to Chrissy Mayer, because she is the way that I discovered you guys. And as soon as I saw that, she had a hot sauce, I was like, well, okay, I got to try it. And then of course I did. And of course I did kind of a little bit of a review on Twitter, and you guys followed me back. I loved it. I love spicy stuff. So
Thank you.
It was really, really good. What kind of got you into the business of doing hot sauce?
Yeah, I've been in business selling hot sauce as Silk City Hot Sauce for about 4 or 5 years, 2017. So 18, 19, 20, 21. Today, this will be the 5th year I'm in business making and selling hot sauce. How do I get into it? You asked me that when we were texting back and forth, like, how did you get into it? And it's funny because sometimes you start thinking back and back and back. You're not going back. You're like, Jesus Christ, was I into hot sauce in the fucking womb? I was a couple of things like popped in my head the last couple of days when I've been thinking about me as a hot sauce company and as a hot sauce freak. I was in a band when I was in high school.
Okay.
And we used to practice at my buddy Jay's house. His dad was a carpenter and like a tinkerer down in the basement. Remember, and a hot sauce fanatic. He's one of the. I think back. That's I'm my early 40s, so we were in high school. So that was about 25, 30 years ago, right?
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not too far off from your age. Trust me, I'm 36, so we're running somewhere in the same ballpark. Me personally, I grew up in a family. My mother loved spicy Mexican food. And she was a very big advocate. She can't eat it now because she's, going to be turning 60 this summer. But no, I grew up eating spicy foods. I loved them. Mexican food is my absolute favorite. Oh, look, we're getting spammed by the chat. You know what? You're doing something right when you get bots in the chat.
All right. Come at us.
Yeah. They got nothing better to do over in other countries. So yeah, absolutely. And then I was
gonna say real quick. So my buddy, just before that thought just fell out of my head. The other guitar player's dad, Jay, his dad was a veteran too. By the way, thank you for your service. Yeah.
My pleasure, man. I loved it.
Absolutely. And his dad had this whole wall of hot sauce in the basement in his tinkerer room. And I was like,
really?
What is that? It's just this dude. It's just grew up on Tabasco sauce for the most part. He's like, oh, my dad's a hot sauce freak. I was intrigued, back in those days, I would pretty much put anything in my body. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. We might want to pump the brakes considering the stuff going on with Jack Murphy. He put a lot in his body too, and it's not going well for him.
Oh, no, but I was into it, and his dad turned me on to sauces that I couldn't even believe existed. I was like, what the hell? And I don't know. And then I guess I've been a fan ever since.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I've tried a lot of different restaurants and stuff, even as a kid and stuff like that. I know in the MREs in the military, they give you a little bottle of Tabasco. It's like that big, right. And I've never been the biggest fan of Tabasco. It's okay. I mean, it's not too shabby. It's just I think we used it more for like, challenging guys to like, be like, oh, hey man, take a snort of it. And it's like, no.
Yeah, it's a better snorting sauce.
Yeah, no, we were stupid. So It's just a great thing to ask is, do you have any like, fun stories with like hot sauces or like chili peppers or something like that from, as a kid or even as a young man, because you see all the stuff on social media. They do crazy stuff with this, sauces and spicy stuff.
Yeah, like it wasn't even in the business yet, but like 10 years ago, I was down in Northampton, Massachusetts, which is about an hour south of where I'm talking to you from. I'm in Vermont,
Okay.
so it's I'm not sure where you are, but
Florida.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm in Florida. I'm in the Tampa Bay area.
Oh, right on. It was negative like 6 last night here. It's which I find quite balmy. But about 10 years ago, the Sonic Youth were playing a secret show at somebody's house in Northampton, Mass. Like I said, about an hour south of me here, and I had gotten word that they were going to be there, which wasn't completely out of left field. Some of the guys in Sonic Youth were like lived in that area. So before the show, I put a bottle of hot sauce in my pocket to bring with me. It was like kind of an era where I was kind of avoiding drinking and stuff like that. So just to get like a feeling in my belly if I was going to a show or something, I used to keep a bottle of sauce in my pocket just to like take a swig and just feel something, So it was at that point, it was like I said, 10 years ago, I had like 150 bottles of hot sauce at home. And I chose like a really hot one to bring with me to the show. It was something I used to do. I used to take swigs of it, and it was snowy night, just like tonight. Jesus Christ. It was like the Large Marge story. It was like a night just like tonight, 10 years ago. And I was outside with my buddy, and he was drinking a beer and I was taking swigs of my hot sauce. The band hadn't shown up yet. But just then, it's like big car pulls up and Sonic Youth showed up, and there was literally like a house party, and they were going to play in some dude's basement. And they got out of their car and they were bringing their equipment in downstairs. Like the drums were already there, but they were bringing their guitars into the basement. And I took a big swig of the hot sauce, and it hit my stomach, and I collapsed in the snow. And right when the band were walking up,
oh no,
and they stopped and asked my buddy, we're like, what's going on? Is that dude all right? My buddy was like, yeah, he's a fucking idiot. He's don't worry about it. It was the hot sauce. It finally got me.
No, I've definitely done that. I've drank hot sauce just for, I don't even know whatever reasons. I think one of my favorite snacks sometimes is like to take some like tortilla chips and like put hot sauce on all over them and then like crunch them up and then just kind of like eat them. Like, but yeah, no, it's an easy snack. I love it. So you know what, with that being said, what is probably the hottest thing you've ever tasted, Scoville wise?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably a fresh ghost pepper, I think, at this point is the hottest thing I've eaten. Or that sauce that made me collapse at the Sonic Youth show. But I've had some fresh ghost peppers that are grown right down the street from here on the farm where I get all my peppers, which we'll get into in a little bit. But
okay.
Yeah, that's about as hot as I've taken. It's just a fresh ghost pepper.
I have never had a fresh ghost pepper. I've definitely eaten peppers, but I've had ghost pepper salsa, hot sauce. I've had Carolina Reaper salsa and hot sauce, but I have never had the fresh pepper. I have a feeling that's very different.
Yeah, the fresh pepper gives you a big solid boost of heat and power and warmth. And brings sweat to your nose and face, but it dissipates quicker than dried and processed peppers, I find.
Okay,
I'm not sure why, but like a lot of people say, my sauces, the Silk City hot sauces, some of them are hotter than others, but the heat dissipates pretty quick because I'm not sure 100% why, but I think it's because I use fresh peppers from the farm. as opposed to dried peppers, out in, that I could get anywhere out in the world.
Mm-hmm. No, I would think it's definitely better with the fresh peppers because you got all the juice, you got all the it's I think one of the best ways to put it for me personally is that when I rarely order Papa John's pizza or something like that, or we have Hungry Howie's down here, and you can order extra what are those peppers they put in there? Like, and you could just eat them fresh. I
The
can't
banana peppers?
I don't think they're banana peppers. No, I would have to look it up. They're slightly green. They're kind of sweet, and they're kind of about that big. They're a little bit shriveled. They're like maybe 2 inches long at max. Fuck, what are they called? I can't think of it.
You just reminded me though. When you said the juices, you just reminded me of
I'll make it full screen.
my newest proprietary Silk City hot sauce method of making hot sauce. I hate to share it, but why not? All you other hot sauce companies out there listening, listen up because this is a good idea.
Hey, it's your show. Do what you got to do.
So this particular sauce, I don't know if you tried this one. Did you
No.
did you order a bottle of the pullover?
No, is that new?
This is one of the new flavors. Came out actually around the same time that Chrissy's sauce came out. But
Okay.
I did something I never did before with this particular sauce. And you when you said hot pepper juice, you made me think of it. I've got an actual juicer at the commercial kitchen where I prepare the Silk City hot sauce. And for this particular flavor, when the pepper harvest came in this particular fall,
Okay.
Farmer Joe and his brother Sam and George. Those are three brothers I get my peppers from, Sam, George, and Joe. And they were just bringing in bushel after bushel after bushel after bushel of peppers, and it was just like got to a point where there was so many, it was too much. It was too much. So I started juicing them. I had this wild, crazy idea, like a Doc Brown moment, like hitting my head on the edge of the toilet and getting a vision,
The flux capacitor.
a vision of this. So I was basically spent like a couple of weeks in the couple of weekends in the kitchen juicing peppers like a fucking maniac. And if you walked in there, the all like the capsaicin and the
Yes.
the peppers was like completely airborne. People were like freaking out. I was just sitting in there, no gloves, just juicing peppers nice and slowly because it's one of those juicers that really squeezes the vegetable matter and gets every last drop of juice out.
That's awesome.
So I was filling buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets up. So when I made this particular sauce with habaneros and fatale peppers, and there was some red cayennes in there, I fortified that sauce with my fresh pepper juice, which adds a whole nother ethereal layer to this particular flavor, which I'm really excited about. So in the future, some new flavors are gonna feature the pepper juice method as well.
No, that's absolutely awesome. What, as someone who is in the military, I have law enforcement experience. Yeah, that capsaicin will get you. It'll get you, and that's one of the best parts. I've had hot sauces with that have pure extract in them, and they take it to a whole new level compared to one that, like you said, is done from it's dried out. It's kind of and so no. I think that's great. That's one I would definitely love to try. I had my cousin sent me one of them, a hot sauce from what is that show on YouTube? They do the interviews and stuff. Anyway, he sent me one of those to try, and it had like a pure extract in it, and it was probably one of the hottest things I've ever had, minus maybe like the Carolina Reaper.
Those extract sauces are crazy, and that's why. And this is not even as hot as that. I'm not saying that those extract sauces are gimmicky. I am saying that, but which is fine. I've got a bottle of Dave's Insanity in my own refrigerator, which is packed solid with the cayenne extracts. But it definitely makes those sauces artificially hotter than what they would ordinarily be if you were just using straight up fresh peppers or roasted peppers or just regular peppers.
Yeah, that's actually a great question. What how, I guess, is the best question. How do they extract that? Like, what is that, like a separate process? Or I mean, because I don't know anything about it. I just know I love eating hot sauce. And I
That's
know
a
that
good
they
question. That's a good question. In my previous life, I was actually an herbalist in training, never certified. What's an herbalist? I went to 20 some odd years ago. I went to uh, like an herbal doctor in upstate New York and studied with him for 40 years out in like the backwoods of Ithaca, New York. And
okay.
as part of my herbalist training, we made plant medicines, extracts.
Hmm,
So I don't know if they're extracting cayenne the same way we used to extract echinacea and burdock root and dandelion and arnica and all that crazy stuff. But typically, you would take a fresh plant like a cayenne pepper, and then put in a gallon jar, just to make a gallon extract, and then cover it in like a 95% medical grade alcohol, and
really?
let that macerate and absorb into the alcohol for like a month. And then we'd use like a hydraulic press to first we put like the plant matter in like cheesecloth, and then put that cheesecloth in the hydraulic press, and then pump it down and squeeze out all the liquid, and you'd have like, say, like an echinacea extract that way.
I,
They're probably, I don't know, I don't know what they're doing, but something along those lines.
I mean, I would imagine it's probably not too far off. That's nuts. I mean, that's absolutely nuts. No wonder it's so hot. Uh,
Yeah, and they're probably cooking that down and making like real pasty extracts, because otherwise I can't. I don't know how. Otherwise, I don't know how they're getting it that hot, because I could fill kettles with habanero peppers, which are freaking hot.
mhm.
But I can never get it that hot. I mean, as far as compared to the extract sauces, that is.
Yeah. Well, the extract sauces can be really good, and they can have some good flavor, but at the same time, sometimes I think the heat outweighs the flavor. And as one of my closest friends from the military, he's one of the reasons I got into hot sauce too, is that he would eat something, put hot sauce on. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, try this." I'm like, "All right," and I would try it. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's got really good flavor, doesn't it?" I'm like, "That's hot," and he's like, "No, it's got good flavor." I was like, "Okay." But through him, I kind of learned, what was just like straight up heat and the
Right.
difference between flavor. And flavor, in my opinion, probably takes a longer road to do, because I really liked the hot sauces that I tried from you.
Thank you.
And and I really did enjoy them, and I think I finished them within like a week and a half, both of them. So what can you say about your process for going forward and trying to add flavor, and where do you get your inspiration from to try different things?
Yeah. For example, um, I was at the Rhode Island Comic Con, which is a whole nother side of my business. You know my business from my association with comedians and
Mhm.
podcasters, and I do want to mention this real quick, that I do reach out to comedians and podcasters and try to get my brand out there, because before I started doing that, just like you, I was an avid podcast listener, a radio fan. I mean, going way
Yeah.
back when I was a kid, I was a Howard Stern listener when I was a teenager, and then
Oh, that's yeah.
you know what I mean? And then I was like a radio guy forever. I mean, when I used to live in New Jersey, I used to listen to New Jersey 101.5, New Jersey Talk all day long. Music comes out to play on the weekends, but always listening to stuff. Um, so I do market to podcast listeners and podcast fans and comedians, but the other side of my business is in the comic book convention world, and
Really?
other types of cons. Yeah, yeah, but
So we got a whole new branch of stuff to talk about. But
yeah,
you finish your thought, and
yeah.
we'll
So, for example, I did Rhode Island Comic Con this past November, and this cosplayer comes out of nowhere. It's the sickest fucking cosplay I ever saw. It was Skeletor.
Oh,
This
okay.
dude Sean Bulletproof Studios. It's his company. I'll introduce you to him. He's a really cool dude. He's very talented, and he
Okay.
comes over to my booth. And I suspect you've been to a convention or two.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I actually have a photo over here
Uh-huh.
of Kate Beckinsale when she came to Tampa Bay Comic-Con.
Oh, right.
It was actually the Comic-Con that some stalker followed her across the country and tried to accost her in the parking
No
garage.
way.
Yeah, I don't know if you.
Wow.
I think that might have been back in like 2017, 2018.
I missed it. I missed the story.
Yeah, no, you can probably Google it where
Sure.
she was going through the convention, she would have like an escort of 5 Tampa Bay police officers. So when I got a picture with her, there was like 3 of them in front of us.
No way.
Yeah, I swear. Yeah.
Booth. Wow. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they need celebrities need more security at these shows because people are dressed up with masks on their faces.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a nut job and you want to get close to somebody you admire like that, you could just dress up like fucking Batman. You're totally incognito. But this dude, like my friend Sean, that dressed up like Skeletor. I mean, he's not a creep. He's just an insanely talented costume maker. I mean, it was like he crawled out of the cartoon or movie set. That's how good his Skeletor costume was. People were freaking out the whole weekend at the show. I think he won best costume too at that show. But when he was in front of my booth, he just brought back so many memories of watching cartoons as a mere boy. Big He-Man fan when I was a kid, you know.
Well, we're no, go ahead.
Yeah. So I was talking to him and feeling his the different his armor and stuff, and it was all like padded and everything. But all of a sudden, blueberry hot sauce just popped in my head. Blueberry, jalapeno, maybe habanero with fresh apples from the orchard who also grow my peppers. They happen to have an apple orchard too. So this idea with Skeletor on a label.
That's awesome.
Because if you think about my hot sauce labels, they look like comic books, right? That's kind of the idea.
Yeah, I got your website pulled up. You can keep talking. I'll see if I can try to find it.
Like the one that I showed before, the Tales from Silk City looks like an old 1950s Tales from the Crypt hot sauce, and the other labels are attempting to look like comic books. Some are sci-fi, some are horror, some are action themed.
Yes.
So that's a whole nother angle of my business. I didn't always look like this as far as the comic book style artwork. Before that artwork existed, all my bottles just had the dragon on it, my logo, the pepper dragon. But
no, I definitely like your logos. They do remind me of comic book, and that's why they kind of stuck out to me because they're very detailed.
Yeah, every label is drawn by a working comic book artist in the industry. Like the Killer Hot is a collaboration of Charles Moisant and Philo Barnhart, who worked for Disney and drew Ariel for the
wow, really? That's so cool.
There's like Silk City hot sauce and the Little Mermaid connection, believe it or not.
Yeah. No, I this is what really stood out to me because I definitely noticed this. And of course it's very, very, because you have like the little comic book. Here, let me make it a little bit bigger.
Exactly. So, the $10 mark.
Yeah, the $10 in the corner, like 35 cents. Yes.
You got it. You're exactly right. So take Slurp, for example. You see Slurp there?
Yes.
Like I said, my buddy George and Joseph, they grow all the peppers for me. They also have apple orchards and a peach orchard. So the Slurp came about a couple of years ago when Farmer George calls me up and he's like, Jeff, I got peaches coming out of my ears, man. I got peaches coming out of my ears. So I went down to the farm and I picked up like 6 bushels of peaches. And he said, you need some honey? I said, yeah, I need some honey too. And he's like, I got habaneros too, man. I got habaneros right now. So my sauces are sometimes born out of excessive agriculture that's happening right in my backyard. Peaches, honey, habaneros. So I took what George had available that particular week, and I went into the commercial kitchen, which is also at their farm. They have a nice little commercial kitchen that they let me use, and I whipped up the slurp, and it's and the rest is history as far as that sauce is concerned.
No, I definitely really enjoy the fact that you're doing your own thing. You've tied it back to comic books because it's something you love. That's easily that's a very creative way to reach out to several bases. Especially because I'm not going to go into the state of comics books itself per se, but I think that's a great way to to get things out there, especially because Chrissy Mayer, she's on Friday Night Tights, which is, from Nerdrotic. They talk about comic book stuff, comic book movies, pop culture. No, I think that's really creative. And it all definitely seems like it comes full circle, whether that's what you meant or not. I definitely think that's super awesome that that you get your ideas from like random places. And I think that's true creativity because, much like YouTube or any creative prospect, you'll think it's something one day and be like going, oh shit, I should try that. Like that might be a good idea.
Right. So check this out. Oh, real quick. Check this out. So that was back in November when I met Skeletor.
Mm-hmm.
At that same show, I met a comic book artist named Jesse Lundberg. Shout out to Lundberg Graphics, an amazing comic artist. When I was walking around, I introduced myself to all the artists, and he gave me his card. He was like, "Hey, cool. I think your hot sauce looks really cool, man. If you ever need any artwork, hit me up." And I like using different artists, so each sauce sort of takes on its own uniqueness. So so I reached out to him and said, as a matter of fact, I do.
That's cool looking
artwork, and
yes,
for my Skeletor blueberry habanero sauce. So I'm not sure if it's coming in, but anyway,
no, you can see it. That looks awesome.
Cool. Oh yeah, so he put that together for me, and it's almost done, and that'll be a sauce that comes out at some point. That's pretty much how the inspiration process works. I mean, I met Skeletor, and I was like, we need a Skeletor hot sauce, and he's blue. So what else is blue? Blueberries are blue, and 5 years ago, one of my earliest memories of hot sauce, speaking of like going down memory lane, me and some friends went to a concert up in Maine, way up in Lyme, Maine, when we were like teenagers. There was like a 3 or 4 day sort of rock fest, and holy shit, we took like every drug imaginable for 3 or 4 days, and on the way back, we were like cruising down in my father's '86 Thunderbird. It was with the Jimi Hendrix tape that got stuck in the tape player, just playing over and over and over and over for like 1,400 miles. But right before we like hit like the Maine New Hampshire border, we pulled off to get some gas, and up in New England, sometimes when you pull off the highway to get gas, the gas station's not right off the highway. Sometimes the town is like 3 or 4 miles away. And on that little cruise from the highway to get gas, we passed by a farm that had like a little farm stand at the end of the driveway, and there was somebody standing there selling corn and squash and different things. So we pulled over because we were like probably still tripping. So we thought it'd be hilarious to just pull over and buy some corn or something. And they had a bottle of hot sauce that was said blueberry, fresh blueberry, Maine's known for their blueberries, like along the coast, like Massachusetts is with their cranberries and stuff. So they had a blueberry hot sauce, and I bought one, and it was one of the most delicious things I ever had in my life. I remember going back and putting on pancakes and thinking it was the coolest thing ever. So that's interesting. This new blueberry hot sauce kind of is paying homage to driving home from that concert.
Wow, that's really awesome. I like the fact that you get all your creative ideas from like so many different places, like memories, and I think memories are some of the best too. Like because going forward, you see the state of some of the entertainment that we have nowadays. It's just not the same. And, you know, so memories are what we have to kind of take us back to that place. I will shoot off topic really quick.
Sure.
Have you seen the new Masters of the Universe done by Kevin Smith on Netflix?
No.
Don't watch it.
Okay.
Don't watch it. As a longtime He-Man fan, don't watch it. Unless you want to watch the Tila I Don't Need No Man show. And Skeletor's gone too, because apparently, you know, Evil Lynn's got a bigger dick than he does at some point in the show. It's really bad. You know, so sorry. Do you do the Comic-Con thing often? You know, is this something that you want to continue to do in the future? Maybe spread out as you go along, or
Yeah,
is
man.
it? Are you just kind of like doing locally right now up in the Northeast?
Yeah, I've been doing local shows in the Northeast, but my goal is to definitely branch out. And my buddy up here who's been coming with me to shows really got into it as well. So he's been sort of nudging me to like push further and further, just so like we can get away for a couple of days. You know, I've got little ones here at home, so
of course, yeah,
and even littler ones coming. So it's hard to get away. Yeah, my goal is to keep pushing the convention schedule into further reaches of the United States. Hopefully to Florida, actually.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, Orlando, obviously great for tourism. Tampa is very good for tourism because of the sports teams. Miami, obviously, as well, because it's, you know, it's the very pretty people. You know, so I will ask though. I will ask. Have you had a hard time maybe with some of your marketing outreach and maybe reaching out to people with some of the things going on? Not specifically about what you think about them, but has it kind of hindered some of your business decisions going forward?
With some of the comedians that I've put on my label.
No. With the last 2 years, and you know, we all need to forever stay in our houses until the end of time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, has this whole like transformation thing changed my business model?
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, you own your own business. I know a lot of businesses have had a lot of hard times. You know, has that impacted you?
Big time. Back in the day, like pre-pandemic, I used to sell my products at like local grocery stores and local markets, which is like one of the ways in which like small specialty food companies like myself make a living. You know, selling wholesale to grocery stores. The good news is that I was kind of getting tired of selling wholesale to little grocery stores, because it's really tough for businesses like Silk City and other little independent little craft food products to make it when you're constantly selling to every single store for as little as possible. They don't want to buy it for any more than they have to, because then they got to mark it up. So, but that's if you are selling directly to the store out of the trunk of your Suburban. If you push it and you try to be even a little more legitimate, you sell to a distributor. So I make the sauce and then I sell to a guy that has a truck and he sells it to the grocery stores, right? So I live up in Vermont. So, you know, there's like 254 little towns. Vermont is very backwoodsy, and and there's only 2 highways. So it takes forever to go from town to town to town to town. It's literally like driving through Tolkien's world, because it's all windy and shit.
It sounds great to me, by the way, because I grew up in Colorado, so
yeah, you know how it is. Then like when you're up in the mountains, it's slow going and it's very beautiful. But when you're trying to sell out of the back of your trunk to every little store at rock bottom prices, it gets crazy. So, but then you sell to a distributor, so then you have to sell even lower. So now you got to make the shit, and then you got to sell to the distributor. Then he's got to sell to the grocery store, and then they mark up the stuff, and then it still has to compete against something like Tabasco sauce, which is like $2 at the grocery store. It's like, how the fuck are they selling sauce for $2? Well, they're buying because it's made with fucking complete garbage. That's wow. And it's all vinegar and it's all preservatives and it's all garbage. They're not buying the peppers from their farmer friend George, who's growing the peppers, and I pay him I pay him well for his product. When I buy glass for the bottles, I buy 100 cases at a time. I buy what I need. I don't buy an entire tractor fucking trailer worth of glass, so I'm not getting great deals on my stuff. So, anyways, when all this hit, I was already trying to stop selling to grocery stores and trying to reach like regular people and to sell directly to them, like you and other cool podcasters and podcast listeners, and just so happened that it all kind of like came into like ahead all at the same time, like the pandemic and when I wanted to change direction. So it was like I swear it was like a month before the pandemic I started reaching out to podcasts and I said I'd already been doing conventions. I had already been doing comic shows because see, I grew up going to comic book shows. My dad was a super collector. My father was a major collector. He had comics and magazines and TV memorabilia.
Yeah, that's me.
All kinds of stuff, man. I mean, when I was a little kid, my dad's collection was so gnarly that Mark Hamill was in town. It was like 87. Mark Hamill was in town performing an off-Broadway show. I actually have the playbill for it somewhere around here because we went as a family to see him perform because he had gotten wind of my dad's collection, and I forget what Mark collected, but long story short, he came over for some macaroni and cheese and shake and bake chicken. My mom's famous
shake and bake.
And I was 87, so I was like 8 or 9 years old. So Mark Hamill came over and he showed me how good his hand works now, and that they attached all the nerve endings back perfectly. And he was like sitting right across from me at the table, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Skywalker's at my house. But that's the kind of life I had as a comic book super collector's kid. So I went to school the next day and was like, remember, I felt like Mouth and Goonies, and they're like, "Oh yeah,
yeah."
What about the time Michael Jackson came to your house to use the bathroom? Well, he didn't, but his sister did.
The Goonies. I love that. That's great.
So they called the school, called my mom, and said, we love your son. We love him. Come on. He's going around telling everybody that Luke Skywalker had, shake and bake last night with your family. And my mom was like, it wasn't shake and bake. It was whatever it was. And they're like, the whole family's fucking loony. But that was the kind of life that we had, and I think Mark picked up a couple of books off my dad for his collection. And I'm here to tell you that. And,
that's crazy.
So my dad was, had his own business, and as far as like my entrepreneurial mindset, it was because that's where I come from. I come from like a sort of a line of people who were always kind of working an angle, who work in their own business, trying to get out there and make it happen. So,
no, I would definitely 100% agree. My parents own their own. It's a family business that my grandfather and my great grandmother started. They were the backing for, and of course my parents have taken it over, and they're going forward with it. So, my parents have always, I'm kind of from the same realm. So when I told them, I was like, oh, I want to like do some stuff on YouTube and stuff like that. They're, oh, okay. And then of course when I started like making a little bit of money, they're like, oh, okay, well, I guess you are serious, because it takes effort, and you have to expand to different platforms. And I think reaching out to podcasters and comedians is probably one of the best things for you, because the internet has exploded because of of the the coof and the continuing Megatron variant. Yes, I say Megatron because YouTube is lame as fuck. So yeah, no, I think that's a great way to go. It's excellent marketing. You don't have to do as much work, and the fact that you were so easily, so gracious to come on here and talk with things about me is awesome. Um,
Thank you for having me.
no, no, absolutely, of course. And you're always welcome back as things progress, because and this is one thing that I wanted to do. Listening to Chrissy, what she does with the bots. Listening to Chrissy, what she does. She's the one who actually got me into interviewing people. And so I was like, okay, she interviews up and coming people from all spectrums. She interviews porn stars. She interviews some political some actual mainstream political figures, and she also interviews up and coming YouTubers and stuff like that. So that's where I got the idea. I wanted to start talking to real people doing real things. I don't give a shit about what the fucking celebrities are doing. Who cares? Fuck Hollywood. I want to talk to real people who are making it in the real world. And I think my next question would actually be, starting out the way you did you have to juggle it with kind of a 9 to 5 job? Because that's what I'm doing right now, and I know a lot of people do that I've talked to. I work for the government, so I work a 9 to 5, and then I come home and do this. Did you kind of have to do something similar with what starting Silk City?
Definitely, definitely. I still work part time for my friend's landscaping business. It's a landscaping and tree business. So we're out there taking
A
care
lot
of
of trees.
really hoity-toity properties with like manicured lawns and exquisite flower beds. So we're out there weeding and my boss gets tree work as well. He's a certified arborist, so he's up there climbing and throwing branches down at my head, and I throw them in the chipper, and I love that kind of work. It's outside, it's feels good, and it's a good hang with my buddy Joe who hires me to do it. I do that. I do some eBay on the side as well. So I still got the memorabilia flowing through my blood. I do the hot sauce. My wife works as well. She's a pharmacy technician at a local psychiatric hospital. So we do what we got to do to pay the bills and keep food on. It's not just us anymore. We got a 2.5-year-old little girl, and her sister's on the way. The countdown, the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking, my friend.
About how long would you say the clock is?
It's about 9 weeks.
Oh, that's quick. That's quick. Well, congratulations on the upcoming.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Children are a blessing. They really are.
No doubt.
So no, I think these are the stories that I like to hear, because you talk to people, you talk to like the talking heads or something like that. You'll watch them on TV, and they just like they don't. Yes, I hear you.
Who's there?
Yeah, that would be my pet.
Sweet.
Yeah, he's an ass. So no, he always wants attention when I'm online. Like it's like, dude, do you not get enough attention? Look, yeah, I know, I see you. So no, it's just everybody starts somewhere, and that's what I like, is that everybody has to start with their hands in the mud, and they have to, practically break their back to start their own business, even online. It doesn't just like, I'm gonna do this and it's gonna explode. No, dude, you got to do it like all the time. You work your normal job, then you come home and you work this job, because this job is what's really rewarding, because one day it's going to be something awesome. And so, going forward, I would like to ask you, maybe what's something that you see moving forward for Silk City hot sauce? Maybe what's something, you don't have to go into super detail if there's like, some secrets behind it,
Right.
where would you say you would like to be, maybe in the next 2 years? Or do you have plans for the next 2 years, maybe the next 5 years? Are there any expansions you might be coming up with? And obviously you can be as vague as possible, because it's your business, it's your interview.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things I've been thinking about. as far as incorporating more spicy maple syrups into Silk City. I mean, it's the land of maple syrup here. I'm not sure if this is your exact question. I don't know exactly where I'll be in a couple of years. It seems like
no, absolutely. Wherever you want to take it,
But I've been thinking about increasing my line of spicy syrups. People seem to really love it. It's a great sell at the conventions.
Okay.
Basically, it's we're infusing maple syrup with hot peppers, and it's just an amazing sweet heat experience. Right now, I just came out with one. It's called hot syrup, and this one is actually a blend. It's Vermont apple cider from the orchard and maple syrup, so it combines both those flavors together. And it's infused with that pepper juice that I was freaking out about before.
Yeah.
So it and I put it in one of those bottles that look like this. The bottle looks like this, as opposed to the flask that I use for my hot sauce.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And I'm really proud of this too. This is what it looks like.
Oh, I did see that. I can pull that up. There it is.
And I
did see that.
Really excited. I'm really excited about this one because I met the artist. Art Muffin is his name on all social media platforms. Art Muffin. We met at the New Bedford, Massachusetts horror convention a couple of months ago. I guess it was in October. And this is not. I know it doesn't look like horror. His horror artwork is really dope. But the hot syrup gal is my wife.
And really?
Yeah.
Here, show that real quick again. I'm gonna make you full screen because I had the really okay. I like the fact that you incorporate the family in that. That's cool.
I was shocked, to be honest with you. My wife is shy. She's she's not like she's just putting herself out there like crazy like I am right now. But
yeah,
I said, how do you feel about being on a label? And she said, I'm into it. I said, really? So, anyways, that's I got some pictures over to my my buddy Art Muffin, and he created that label for the hot syrup. So, I encourage all Legion Games 2076 fans to check out silkcityhotsauce.com. And I think Ryan's doing a great thing. He thinks I'm doing a cool thing. I think Ryan's doing a cool thing. If you go to silkcityhotsauce.com, there's a coupon code box. Enter Legion, Legion, and you're going to get 15% off. And I'm going to throw in a free bottle of hot sauce, a mystery bottle. They're all good, but it's going to be a mystery bottle. That's what I'm going to do. So enter promo code Legion. You're going to get 15% off and a free bottle. Who knows?
Awesome.
It might be hot syrup.
I really appreciate that. That is such a gracious offer. And I would like to end this with this discussion because I was listening to Chrissy's interview with Gino Visconti from Compound Media. They're both at Compound Media. I heard that you and Gino are actually friends and that you guys have actually known each other for a bit.
Well, I've never actually met him in person. A lot of the Compound people, and is that what he said on the podcast?
Well, I can't. I was listening to it at work today, but yeah, he basically framed it that you guys have you've known each other for a bit, and you're a great guy, and that you've always been super supportive, and that you and him talk and stuff like that.
We do. We definitely go back and forth all the time.
Yeah.
It came out a couple of years ago when he was getting all excited because his birthday was coming up, and I remember thinking, boy, my birthday's coming up too. That'd be funny if it was the same day, and it was. We have the same birthday. So I guess ever since we've been kind of kindred spirits. Ever since, I don't know, something about having the same birthday as somebody, you get all kind of goosey about it or something.
Yeah, no, he's my kind of guy. It cracks me up. I love when he just goes nuts. I love it. He's so funny and he calls it the way he sees it. I love Compound Media. I love what Gino's doing. I love what Chrissy's doing and stuff like that. So
I do too.
I love the fact that you were so gracious for doing this, and I greatly appreciate that. Everybody go and follow I can't talk. You can see I'm catching my shelf at the end of the night where I'm starting to go like, oh, okay. Follow Silk City Hot Sauce on Twitter, on Facebook, obviously at the website. You can see it in the scroller there. Is there any other platforms you may be on that I missed?
You said Twitter, Silk City Hot Sauce, Facebook,
Yep.
Silk City Hot Sauce, Instagram. My favorite is Twitter.
Okay.
If you're out there and you're on Twitter, come and hang out. Come and hang out at Silk City Hot. That's my favorite. Facebook is cool. My mom likes my posts. And I'll get a few others, but Twitter's the good hang. Let's be honest. The Twitter is the best hang. Ever since speaking of Gino and Chrissy and everyone else at Compound Media, when I started getting involved with these comedians, I started to build like a community. That's where I met you. I mean, for God's sakes.
Yes.
And guys like Kevin Brennan, who's my absolute comedic idol. I'll put it out there. I'm not embarrassed to say it.
Hey, no,
Kevin Brennan's my guy. Kevin Brennan's my guy. I just recently discontinued the Chad Zumach Mango Madness hot sauce because I took Kevin Brennan's side in a feud that they had. And Chad was on my bottle, and I took Kevin's side.
I did see that.
You did see that. I thought it was funny at the time, but it got a little crazy to get in there in the feud. As a fan of all these comedians and their feuds, I'll be honest, it gets a little hairy when you're in the feud.
Yeah, no, Twitter can get a little grumpy. I'll tell you what, I've had a few just like normal takes and stuff like that because I don't just deal with gaming on my main channel and Eurovision. That's my main channel, but my secondary channel, Legion Talk, is pop culture, and then I started a brand new channel because YouTube doesn't like algorithm mix. So I started Legion Wire, which is a play on the Daily Wire, because so I started a political channel. I'm on Odyssey and all that stuff, but like if you have a normal take of any kind and somebody disagrees with you on Twitter, it can easily like that start this argument, and you're just like, dude, what in the what the fuck did? No, it's Twitter. It's
a silly place for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I laugh on a daily basis.
But it got so crazy that I literally discontinued one of my labels over all the nonsense. And let it be known, I think Chad Zumach is fucking hilarious. He's a hilarious comedian. And I was a fan for a long time. I'm still a fan. I guess I'm still a fan. He hates my fucking guts because I canceled his label. The reality is, as far as my labels go, I just want to put this out there because we're on the air. Let me get this out there if you don't mind.
No, go ahead. Okay. Like I said, your show.
The labels are not going to stay forever.
Of course not.
Comic book hits the newsstand. A week later,
it's gone.
A week later, there's a new cover. So that's what I have to communicate now to people that I'm working with, that I get on a label, is that there might come a time when I discontinue the look and put something new on there. Anyways, so I was in a feud with the Mango label with Kevin Brennan and Chad Zumach, and it's crazy. But if you follow us on Twitter, you can join in the fun.
Yeah, well, trust me, there's a lot of fun to be had. Yeah, no, I definitely understand, and I like the fact that you do that with your labels because nothing lasts forever. In comic books, you may have a one-off series or a limited series, or you could have a long-running series. It just definitely depends. So I think that's a great way to do business because it lets you try new things, but at the same time, it lets people go, hey, whoa, you don't have this anymore, and it's like, well, not at the moment. And if you get enough requests, be like going, well, we might bring it back by popular demand.
Right.
So that's I think that's a great idea. So
right. If people are fans of Frank's buffalo sauce, and every time they go to the store they buy the same fucking boring vanilla flavored sauce, and it tastes exactly the same in 1975 or in 2022. God bless, God bless. But I get bored of the same thing all the time, and
I do too.
right, and it's like, oh well, now I'm gonna have a mango sauce, and maybe next year I'll have a papaya sauce with cherries. Who the fuck knows? But but mark my words, everything is made with highest quality ingredients, the freshest peppers grown right here. And that's the one thing I definitely need to communicate about Silk City hot sauce, is that flavor is all there. It's top freaking notch. And if I don't say so myself.
No, I can vouch for that. And I got the tweets on Twitter to prove it. Trust me. I tagged you. I tagged Chrissy. I very, very much enjoyed the hot sauces that I ordered from you. And I am going to continue to order because, you know, your palate needs cleansing, and it's so easy to get wrapped up. You know, your taste buds just get used to stuff. That's why when you eat something and, you know, that's spicy, the next time it's not going to be as spicy because you're used to it. You know, you need to shake it up. That's life. Don't get into a rut full, you know, of everything. And that's the way I think about it. I'm willing to try anything when it comes to food, you know, minus maybe bugs or something. I don't know, because
Yeah, me too. No,
but yeah, you know, none of that crap, none of that new world bug crap that they want to tout on, you know. So this has been an awesome discussion, and I'm gonna let you take us out. You know, plug anything you want, let anybody know your final thoughts about this, and I greatly appreciate you coming on. I really do.
all right, great. Thanks for having me on. Check out Silk City hot sauce. Come and shop, or don't. Just come and check out the artwork. Come and check out what we're doing. SilkCityHotSauce.com. Use the promo code Legion. You're gonna get the discount. Check us out on Twitter. If you do follow us, you'll get notifications of where all the conventions I'll be going to, and it could be in your neck of the woods. Who knows? I mean, I'm in Vermont, but we're gonna go down to Florida at some point. We're gonna get down there, and shout out to the Ski Mask Collective, which is a podcast network that I designed this hot sauce for, the pullover. That's
yeah, it looks awesome
in my hand, so I want to give them a shout out. That's the Ski Mask Collective, featuring Jim Stansel on the label. Crazy son of a bitch from Twitter, another Twitter guy. But I appreciate you having me on. Wish everybody, I don't know if people were still wishing each other Happy New Year, or go or just, you know, go fuck yourself. I don't know. Wish everybody well.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate you guys for, you know, always everybody who watches. We got to love them, because that's the audience. And I'm going to retweet this broadcast on Twitter, and I'm going to thank Silk City Hot Sauce, especially you, for stopping by. And we'll definitely bring you on again sometime in the future. So appreciate y'all. We'll see you next time.